Hi, my name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is let's fix it. I have noticed in my own life there are times when things will break or they won't function in their optimal state, and it becomes an irritant. It becomes, and not necessarily a massive one, just a slight irritant in the consciousness. Like, man, that thing sticks up and, oh, I tripped over it again, These little nuggets of life that start to kind of fall apart, but then they become a daily way in our consciousness that we allow ourselves to get irritated, to get frustrated with existence. And we can become a steward of those aspects of life. Perhaps you have some aspect on your vehicle, if you have a car, that isn't working at an optimal level. Perhaps you have some aspect in your home that isn't working at an optimal level. And every time you engage with it, your consciousness is aware that an aspect of your life is not working at an optimal level. So let's fix it. Let's get that fixed. I think it's easy because life feels so busy that we can get caught up in that's like non-priority because I gotta go to work and I gotta pay the bills and if I'm a parent, I gotta deal with my child. If I'm a parent of a four-legged, I gotta feed them and, take them for a walk or clean their litter box. I gotta blah, 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 blah. However, those little aspects of life that are not working for us, that we do not take the time and the attention and use our intention to fix, these are little nuggets in our consciousness every day as we walk around that come in to our awareness that life is not working on some level. That's not working. That is not working for me. So I want to speak about this from the concept of feng shui. Feng shui means wind and water. It is the ancient Chinese art of placement. Other cultures use feng shui as a practice. So feng shui talks about qi, which other cultures may refer to as ki. The Western term on that is energy. If we wanted to get scientific about it, we would call it atoms. So atoms are circular in nature. Energy is circular in nature. Everything is comprised of energy. Everything is comprised of a circular nature at its microscopic foundational level. And it is viewed from a feng shui perspective that because the microcosmic viewpoint is circular in nature, that things that move in circles are more harmonious to the flow of nature, whereas things that move in sharp points and angular points are less conducive to the foundational nature of existence. So one of the things that is practiced in the art of feng shui is creating a space in which you create a room or a space that is more octagonal, or perhaps bringing in that circular energy. So I'm standing today to show you, I have a bookshelf that is octagonal. Got my laptop and sweater there, but this bookshelf is basically set to center into the corner rather than being at a sharp point. So one of the things that we look for when we're doing feng shui in our homes, for example, if I'm studying, is we want to look for something called shar qi. Shar qi is referred to as bad energy or negative energy. It would be where instead of having a circular flow of energy in our home, we have something that does come to a sharp point. So when things come to a sharp point, it is believed that energy will flow along this meridian, energy will flow along this meridian, and when it comes to the point, the energy collides, or the atoms collide, and then it pushes energy towards you. So one of the things that you can do as a fix in your home is to look around and see if you have any shar qi. Are there any places where you have a point that is pointed directly at you, so that energy is being directed at you when you're trying to focus, concentrate, study? If you have shar qi pointed at you, then it might cause a disruption in your own energy and frequency because you are made of atoms too, and now you've got energy pushing at you. Another concept of feng shui is to have all doorways able to completely and totally open. And this is one of the let's fix it things that I notice, and when I've gone into other two-legged homes throughout my life, It's like I'll try to go through a doorway from here to there, but there will be something in the way. So I can only partially open the door to squeeze through to that other room over there. Now, what that does is it causes a level of irritation in the consciousness, because I know every time I attempt to go through that door, I have to be conscious about not bumping into anything, because the door doesn't freely open all the way, giving me the freedom and the liberty to get where I'm going each and every day. So do you have any doorways that have things behind them that are a blockage, a piece of furniture that doesn't allow you to fully open the door and allow chi or energy to move through that opening? Perhaps you've experienced insomnia. Perhaps you have difficult time getting to sleep at night. From a feng shui perspective, one of the fixes you can, or cures you can use, is to look around. Do you have mirrors in your bedroom? A lot of people do, because a lot of people have a dresser that comes with a mirror. All you need to do is find a cloth to cover that mirror, because that mirror stirs energy. It reflects back and bounces back the energy, which activates the energy in the room when you're trying to sleep. Do you have technology devices? Simply cover them with a cloth. They are seen as harbingers of stirring energy because they're often plugged in. If you have a TV in your bedroom, you don't necessarily unplug and plug it in every day. You know, some of you might. But it seemed best to cover that technology device so that your space in which the consciousness you want to hold is sleep and rest. There's no stirring of the energy there. It's always blessed. It's always like, go to sleep, enjoy your rest. Sleep is an important component of emotional health. Really important. We know through studies that if you don't get proper sleep every night, it increases agitation, irritation, anger, hostility. So ensuring that you get a good night's sleep every night is a part of mental and emotional health overall. Is there anything in your life right now, a way that you engage with your car, let's say, that feels negative, and that your conscious mind, whether you actively think of it on a daily basis, is aware of every time you engage with that space? In the universal language of mind, when we do dream interpretation, a physical car is a representation of the physical body. And it can be a way that we can interpret the physical self. So let's say your physical car is filled with all kinds of stuff. It's really messy. Every time you get in it, your consciousness has to shift and move energy for the vehicle to be a sacred space for you to enter, for that vehicle representing your body to be a sacred space for you to enter and then traverse through Earth School to get where you're headed. Well, one of the things you can do is make it a sacred space for you to travel in everywhere you need to be. Let's fix it. Let's take 1 weekend, 2 weekends if we need to, but clean out the car, hold the intention that our vehicle is always clean, is always organized, not because it's the proper thing to do, not because it's socially acceptable, not because you should feel shameful if you didn't do this, not because you should, this is the way to do it and you've done it wrong, but because you deserve a temple everywhere you roam. Your home should be a temple. Your car should be a temple. Your vessel should be a temple. That is part of evolution and exalted consciousness in the way you choose to engage with the outer. If the outer is the inner and the inner is the outer, and I gotta say, the microcosm and the macrocosm seem to be reflecting points. If you've ever seen a nebula that looks like an eyeball, they seem to be reflecting points. So let's make sure that the outer and the inner are honored. And part of how we do that is we fix it. We fix it in here and we fix it out there. We do the work. We become a steward. So part of this let's fix it that I want to talk about is being a steward of your inner temple. In my experience, and I've done this too, everything I'm talking about is just my own awakening. But a lot of consciousness is spent on wanting to correct others. And I would say, stop trying to fiddle with the splinter in your brother or sister's eye or their eye, they, honoring that title. Stop trying to fiddle with that while you've got a whole plank of wood in yours. You're not actually the steward of cleanup work and fix-it work that others need to do, but you're a steward of your star player each and every single day, every breath that you take. Every breath that you take. So part of Let's Fix It internally is about understanding that you're not bad because you need to learn or grow on certain topics. If you're in a flesh costume, you've got work to do. If you haven't become an ascended being and you're in a flesh costume, you've got work to do down here. And that's okay. It doesn't make you bad. It doesn't make you something that should be ashamed of itself. It doesn't make you unlovable. It just means we all have work to do. So what is your work? That's what I've been thinking about all week. Like, what do I really need to do to up level? I have some consciousness around relationships that gets to change. I have some consciousness about receiving money and receiving blessings back reciprocitously and in balance with what I give out. That is part of my work to do, right? So just because your friend is really great at organization and cleanliness doesn't mean they're knocking it out of the park. That organized, clean friend, they have their work to do. Also, I'm a very clean and organized person. I'm quite OCD. And I got a lot of things to work on, friends. Heather's got some work to do down here. I just named some of them. We all do. But I was thinking also this week about, there were a couple of little things that were kind of irritating. My shower head, when I pull the water, every time the shower head would knock me in the head. So through my years, I've learned to become self-reliant, self-sufficient, and see, can I fix this myself? Is there resolution? Because I'm renting a space. I just called my maintenance man. He came, he not only fixed the water so that it's not difficult for me to open, he fixed the shower head. All those problems are resolved. Now, every time I take a shower, I don't have to hold consciousness of, am I going to get hit in the head? Am I paying attention to the shower head as I turn the water on and off? Problem solved forever. Every shower I take from this moment forward is easier because now it's easy to interact with the water and the shower head has been locked in place. He tightened the nut and it doesn't fall off. Problem solved. Are there any issues that you're having in your life that are a conscious or unconscious stressor in your mind? Let's fix it. Let's fix it. Let's give it some attention. And people may want to say, like, well, you know, that's easy, but I don't have the income to fix this. Here's the facts. You are using money. Unless you live under a bridge, and even in that case, many are, you are using money to exchange with life what you value for what you experience. My invocation and invitation today is, even if it takes you a year of savings to get it done, perhaps it is worth it to take care of those aspects of life that become irritants that are no fun, because every single day it is an issue that you run into. So do you have an easy flow in your home where energy easily moves and flows around from room to room? Do you have an easy flow in your car? Does it feel good to get into? I definitely always have a junk drawer. It's like, that's messy. You know, I'm not a saint of organized cleanliness just because I'm OCD. There are aspects of my life that I'm like, man, that really needs to get cleaned more often, you know. However, I am always being attentive to any little area that needs to be fixed so that my day-to-day is easy and I'm not having to hold conscious awareness on little irritating things that could easily be resolved, and I've got other things to focus on, right? And that includes in here too. What is my work to do? How does Heather need to grow today? What does she have going on internally that is not a match to what she will say she wants to experience each and every day? What is my work to do? What do I need to do? Oh, I need to be more receptive. I overgive. That's good. Let's work on that. You know, so just getting in touch. I would recommend making a list. Are there any things you experience that are unpleasant, that make your days unpleasant? Let's fix it today. Let's give that some attention. You can always subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube, like and comment on videos there. And I am honored to speak with each and every one of you. I hope you find wonderful solutions to anything that's bothering you, those little fix-it moments in the coming days. Blessed be.